What's going on, Dallas Cowboys fans? We've got breaking news coming out of the Star, and while it may not be the extension everyone is anxiously waiting for, yes, we're talking about Micah Parsons. It's still a major move by the front office. The Cowboys have just locked in one of their own, and this time it's tight end Jake Ferguson. That's right. Ferguson is officially staying in Dallas for the long haul, inking a 4-year contract extension worth $52 million, with a strong $30 million of that guaranteed and a $12 million signing bonus in the mix. This deal now places Ferguson as the 7th highest-paid tight end in the entire National Football League. A massive vote of confidence for a player who has shown flashes, battled inconsistency, and now clearly has the trust of the coaching staff and front office moving forward. Now, let's be real. Cowboys Nation has been laser-focused on one name this offseason: Micah Parsons. Every fan, every insider, every beat writer has been refreshing Twitter, waiting for the Micah deal to drop. But while we wait for that blockbuster to materialize, the front office made sure to secure another core player on the offensive side of the ball. And no, it may not be the headline-grabbing splash some were expecting, but it is still meaningful because this team is quietly locking in the pieces they believe will be foundational for years to come. Jake Ferguson has had an up-and-down journey since being drafted, but if we take a closer look at the numbers, it's easy to see why the Cowboys made this move now. In his rookie season, back in 2023, Ferguson put up modest numbers: 19 receptions, 174 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It wasn't eye-popping, but it was a developmental year, especially at a position that often takes time to master in the NFL. But in 2024, we saw what many believed could be the beginning of a breakout. With a healthy Dak Prescott back under center, Ferguson thrived, hauling in 71 receptions for 761 yards and 5 touchdowns across a full 17-game campaign. That kind of leap made people stand up and take notice. He became a reliable option, a red zone target, and a key cog in the passing game. But then came 2025, and it just didn't click the same way. Whether it was inconsistency, changes in play calling, or the unfortunate reality of Dak Prescott's injury that forced backup quarterback Cooper Rush into extended action, Ferguson's production dipped. He still pulled down 59 catches, but his yards per reception were noticeably lower, and he never seemed to get into a rhythm. That chemistry he had developed with Dak was clearly missing with Rush, and as a result, his impact just wasn't the same. Now, entering 2026, there's a sense of cautious optimism, not just for Ferguson, but for the entire tight end room. Training camp buzz is building around this unit. Behind Ferguson, Luke Schoonmaker is a name to watch. Though he hasn't broken out yet, many inside the organization believe he's on the verge of becoming a steady contributor. And then there's Brevin Spann-Ford, an undrafted guy who's been catching eyes at spring practices and early camp reps. While we're not saying he's George Kittle 2.0 just yet, the hype is real, and he could carve out a role as a surprise depth weapon. It's clear the Cowboys don't view this as a one-man show anymore. They're building depth and competition at the tight end position, and that should push everyone, including Ferguson, to play at their highest level. So the big question now becomes, can Jake Ferguson bounce back in 2026 and reestablish himself as a top-tier tight end? Was 2024 the real version of him, or is he trending downward? Cowboys fans, this is where we want to hear from you. Jump down to the comments and let us know. Do you believe Jake Ferguson will bounce back in 2026? Type Y for yes and for no. Let's see what the pulse of the fan base really is on this one. And while we've got this big move locked in, it naturally raises another question: who's next? All eyes, of course, turn to Micah Parsons. We've heard whispers for months that this deal should be relatively straightforward. Micah wants to stay. The Cowboys want to keep him. He's one of the most dominant defensive players in the entire league. But yet, here we are, still waiting, still refreshing, still wondering when the Joneses will pick up the phone and hammer it out. Now, from that press conference we got the other day with Jerry, Steven, and offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer, there was some interesting insight. Everyone always assumes Jerry Jones is the man behind the curtain making all the calls. But it was made clear that Stephen Jones is the one actually talking to agents and managing the nuts and bolts of these deals. So if you're frustrated with how slowly things are moving, you might want to aim that criticism Stephen's way, because he's the one at the negotiating table. That little tidbit is worth remembering as we all wait not so patiently for the Micah deal to get done. Tom Downey, who's usually the one bringing you these updates, will be back soon, but in the meantime, we've got you covered. Whether it's breaking news, training camp battles, preseason action, or major contract extensions, we'll be here with live coverage, analysis, and reactions every step of the way. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because once Micah gets paid, and trust me, he will, we're going live immediately. You won't want to miss it. And look, this tight end contract extension might not have been the splash fans were waiting for, but it does show the Cowboys are still working. Moves are being made. Players are being prioritized. And this one in particular signals that Jake Ferguson is a big part of what this offense wants to be moving forward. So now we want to hear from you. Grade the Jake Ferguson contract extension in the comments A, B, C, D, or F. Was this the right move? Did the Cowboys pay too much? Or was it a smart investment in a young player with real upside? Let us know below, and stay tuned because more moves are coming. Jake Ferguson's 4-year, $52 million extension, $30 million of it guaranteed, is the kind of long-term investment that says the Cowboys believe in their guy. And honestly, they should. After flashing his potential in 2024, with 71 catches, 761 yards, and 5 touchdowns, Ferguson looked like a legitimate weapon in Dak Prescott's offense. Yes, 2025 was a step back, 59 catches, fewer explosive plays, and just an overall lack of rhythm without Dak for most of the season, but let's not act like this man forgot how to play football. With Prescott fully healthy, a revamped offensive identity under Brian Schottenheimer, and a tight end room that's suddenly buzzing thanks to names like Luke Schoonmaker and rookie Brevin, Spanford Ferguson is stepping into a moment where the ceiling is higher than ever. He's now the 7th highest paid tight end in the NFL, and while some might question that price tag, the Cowboys are clearly betting on production over potential. Still, fans are understandably restless. The real prize everyone is waiting on is a Micah Parsons extension. We keep hearing it's supposed to be easy, and yet here we are, still waiting. Jerry Jones talks big, but the latest press conference made one thing clear. Stephen Jones is the man negotiating these deals now. If the Parsons extension isn't moving forward, it's likely because the front office hasn't picked up the phone or finalized those guaranteed money details. And sure, Ferguson's deal is a good sign they're getting things done, but let's not kid ourselves. Until no. 11 is locked in long term. There will be a cloud over every move the Cowboys make. Still, Ferguson's deal shows they're building from the inside out, and if this offense clicks, especially with Dak under center and Schottenheimer calling the shots, it could be the start of something bigger. Let's just hope that Micah's name is the next one we hear announced, Because Dallas doesn't just need him, they need to prove they're serious about keeping elite homegrown talent.